All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here with Kings of the Storm for the second game between Nexus Champ and GGBB. Now, game one was pretty dominating, and we're not going to stall. We're just going to jump right into the draft here.
We're going straight to black hearts. We do have both teams. They are ready to go. We will be seeing GGBB having first pick and first ban. So, whenever they are ready.
Yep. Now, Matt is actually the tournament admin here. He's going to call everything here, and I'm actually producing, so everything's going to be a little bit delayed when we go between games because we have to do everything at once. But we're seeing GGBB banning Stitches once again.
Yeah, they really don't want it. They just don't want to deal with it. And that's fine. I mean, Stitches, he has the ability to make massive, massive plays in this game. Even with the removal of Sprint, he can still do some crazy stuff with Hook. I mean, if you get displaced so far away from your team where they can't even help you, chances are you're going to be in kind of a bad situation. Tiny bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's an incredibly strong character, and we've seen, other tanks just in general just be really, really, really dominant. It can change the game for sure. A character like Arthas, who we're seeing banned right now, is the same kind of hero where they can really just pull in, get that root, and force a really hard initiation where they can really just blow up your team. And Tassadar is the first pick.
Yeah, they snap that.
They
snap that up. And like we said last time, I mean, he is a great pickup if you want to do pretty much anything. I mean, he can fill almost any role. He does tons of damage all over the place. Like his Psystorm can clear waves. It can clear enemy heroes. It can do all kinds of stuff. He can shield up whoever he needs to. And again, he gives crazy good vision of everything with Oracle, and he's pretty much unkillable with his E. So there's that. We do have Tychus and Uther getting picked up from Nexus Champ, so we'll be seeing a pretty big difference in the way that we're going to be seeing GGBB this time around, because they're not going to have Uther and they're not going to have Arthas, but they do have Tas. So it'll be interesting to see how much their playstyle changes, if they still look for that roaming gank comp, or if they're just going to kind of chill it back a little bit. And another Nova pick, this time from GGBB.
This is something we were talking about before the cast today, is like, are we going to see Nova? Because you got the big buff, but a lot of people are actually doubting in Nova, saying that Nova is not going to make a big splash in the competitive scene, but we're seeing her selected twice. Now, Nova didn't necessarily have a ton of efficiency. That didn't, the double stealth gank didn't end up working out too well for them in game one on the side of Nexus Champ.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with them picking it there, but Garden is also a rather large map, and moving between lanes and all that good stuff, it's kind of iffy. I would have much rather have seen that kind of a comp happen on either Dragonshire or Curse Hollow, maybe. So it was interesting to see a pick there, but it is what it is, and it's over. So move on. But we do see Nova Tyrael. So if someone does get locked down with this, Nova can just kind of line them up. If she does decide to take crippling shots, and it's basically just like having a Hunter Mark from Tyrande, so if we look out for that at level 16, we'll see what we see. And if someone gets judgmented, it's going to be a bad time for them.
Well, we got Vala Chen on the other side of things. Now, again, this is also a pretty unique pickup because Chen Stormstout's a hero that we haven't seen a lot in competitive play. We've seen LZ Gamer playing it for Team Snowflake, but beyond that, we haven't seen a lot of just Chen play in general.
Right.
What kind of build do you think we're going to see out of Chen? Do you think we're going to see the flying kick as an initiation to get that initial root in? Because the two best tanks, arguably, have been banned out of the game already. I mean, there is no Arthas or Stitches in this game, and Diablo is pretty much the next big one that we see left. I mean, Tyrael we're seeing on GGBB for this game, but why Chen and not Diablo?
Well, it depends upon what the rest of the comps are, but we could see an Earth Storm and Fire build, and if we do see that, then it might act as kind of a body blocking mechanic for Nexus Champ. So if Old One Eye does go ahead and go in on Chen, he can use his ultimate, just create a generic kind of dispersion around the team fight. He'll be able to block any kind of skill shots coming in, and just get in the face of people, really. Alternatively, if they're going for a burst comp, he can go with Wandering Keg and just separate the fights completely, kind of the same way that you would see a Stitches pull do it. A little bit, it's obviously different, but if he gets the right angle, he can just split the team in half, and it's hard to deal with that. And we do see that GGBB has picked up their next selection.
Falstad and Rhaegar. This is a terrifying team because Rhaegar is an amazing character that has a lot of utility. Both the Earth Bind totem, which becomes an Earth Grasp totem, that's a 1 second root and stun. That's like AoE on top of that, which is very good. And you pair that with stuff like Tassadar, you throw down the Storm, you pair that with Judgment, and Tyrion's ability to just jump on you and delete you, and Nova's Burst.
Scary.
It's very scary.
Scary. I'm not sure what Rhaegar is actually going to take for an ultimate. I'm gonna guess it'll be Ancestral, but we do have a possibility of Archon. Falstad's pretty good with auto attacks. Now it's tough to say if we're going to see a Bloodlust comp here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, do you think we're going to see a Nova AA build? Do you think that's with the new changes, it's become a viable thing?
It is and it isn't. So, with the change of the addition, rather, of hotshots, which reduces your attack speed by 300% basically, and ups the damage of every auto attack by 330%. Your attacks are much slower, but they hit like a truck. So, if we do see a Bloodlust comp, obviously it will speed up those attacks and it will allow her to do a sizable amount of damage. But whether or not that's enough to justify a Bloodlust comp, I'm not too sure. Normally we'll see it with like a Tychus Odin, something like that. But I'm not too sure what we're gonna see. I'm actually really excited to see this.
Well, we see Zeratul is the final pick here to round out the composition as Uther, Zeratul, Chen, Vala, and Tychus versus the Tassadar, Nova, Tyrael, Rhaegar, Falstad. All the players are readied up, and we're going to jump right on in to the game.
All right, let's do it.
Just say GLHF, and here we go. Now, for this match, we're going up 1-0 for GGBB. Nexus Champ has to get this win. It's a best-of-3 series, so the first game to win 2 matches will advance to the round of 8 in the bracket.
Yeah, it's do or die.
It's do or die for Nexus Champ.
It's single elimination, too.
Single elim. There is no losers bracket.
Right.
You lose 1 best-of-3, you're out of the tournament. Now, this is strictly for Pride. There is no prizing here at this event today. But you know what? I really think it's going to be a great game. Blackheart's Bay, honestly, quickly becoming, I think, my favorite map. Dragonshire is many people's favorite, but the more I play on this map here, Blackheart's, the more I end up loving it. Now, on this map, a lot of times you see, in solo queue at least, you see everyone go to the happy face. You got this happy face right here on the map. It doesn't look like we're necessarily going to have that. It looks like Vala is going to be posing to soak in the bottom lane. You really want to make sure you get all of that experience at the start of the game when the first wave of creep comes down. Make sure you get that XP, soak it to the full, and win the chest spawn. Of course, you do have to fight over those chests.
Right. So, with Blackheart, we have a relatively unique, well, I mean, granted, all maps and heroes are unique, but we have the doubloon idea on this map. And the composition that GGBB is running with right now is pretty good at taking those doubloons, taking the really easy camps, the skeleton camps that you see right there, flanking the smiley face with the flags. So it'll be interesting to see if they decide to just go with a kind of a PvE type of build, or if they'll just send Nova around, maybe with Tyrael, to try to gank pretty much everything.
Yeah, well, we do see Falstad, in fact, floating down by the time the creeps are going to hit the wave to make sure that they get the maximum experience here. He just thought maybe I'll be in the top lane in case they try something cheeky and maybe we can get a pick. So I think that's a nice decision to be in the top lane initially and then float down by the time the creeps are there when they realize that they're not going to have that really good engagement. But we see a really, really fast engagement here on the Tychus, and he will, in fact, fall. And again, GGBB getting a quick first blood in this match.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? They go in and they pressure whatever they feel like is the weakest point. And that's great. That's a fantastic playstyle. And it looks like they'll be able to pick up this chest and possibly even the bottom chest as well. We do see Falstad down bottom getting engaged on by Skippy and One Eye. Will he be able to get out? It looks like he might be able to.
Yeah, well, Skippy is in fact going to be fine here, having Tychus and Chen to body block for him and save him. But Dunk doesn't want to liquid with the pressure here. Liquid Chef and Bicep floating down to try to get this gank on Tychus once again, but he should be able to back up fine here. They don't have any hard initiation. I mean, the slow on the totem is nice, and we just see everybody else kind of just soaking their lanes accordingly. I mean, King Caffeine's keeping the pressure on here, trying to get these towers low on ammo. And Blackheart's is always, you know, it's generally a pretty solid plan to try to pressure the towers down and see if you can get that first tower before you get the cannons out. You know, before you turn in your 10 coins, get that first blast, because if you actually manage to take down one of the middle towers, you're guaranteed that first fort.
Right. You can take down either of the middle towers or the gate, or do a sufficient amount of damage, and it will also take it down.
We're seeing, you know, actually GGBB getting really greedy here, going into the enemy jungle and grabbing the giants here.
We do see that Falstad took Bribe. Now, I didn't see if he used it, but Falstad does have Bribe. He's the only one in the game that does, so it will allow them to do cheeky little plays like that if they do decide to go around. And as you see, it just worked right there. It's a nice little bit of pressure. It will allow Falstad to push this bottom fort without too much effort, and it will, the biggest thing of all, it will pull Nexus champs, at least one person down there to defend against it.
Yep.
And knowing where someone is on Blackheart, and generally on any map, is a huge advantage.
All that does is open up the opportunities to collect more coins on the map, because it's not just mercenary camps, but there's also, you see, we're seeing the pirates here being pinged. The pirates will drop coins just like the mercenaries, and a lot of this map is, again, just controlling the objective like any other map where you want to maximize the amount of coins you have.
Okay. We do see Chef going in on mid, but nothing really doing there, just gets stunned and, you know, punched on the nose. Bad dog, walks away.
Bad dog indeed. Well, we might see a little tiny engagement here. Everybody wants these coins here, and we're actually seeing the totem here to zone, and they will gladly grab these 2 coins and back away.
It looks like we do actually have far more than enough on GGBB to turn in right now. Just from seeing what I saw on the screen, it looks like they have 16 coins already, and you only need 10 to do the first turn in, so if they get another couple of camps, they'll actually be able to do a double turn in, which will guarantee them a level 10 advantage if they're able to get it. Biceps actually getting jumped on down bottom, but able to tumble away. No big deal.
Well, you were seeing GGBB be incredibly aggressive in the jungle this entire game. I mean, not only are they going for the coins, but the mercenary camps give you that push, and constantly, Falstad's not even here. I mean, we're seeing, is this kind of like a weird thing? I mean, Rhaegar is great for jungling, but do you think this was their plan for the entire game when they came into it?
I think it honestly probably was. It seems like they wanted to be a little bit PvE until they got into the later game. And we do see, I know you guys at home can't see it, but we do have Nova and Falstad picking up Gathering Power. So they're looking to snowball, and they're already starting. They're a level ahead, they have a couple of kills, but they have 1 kill rather. I don't think anybody should have any stacks on Gathering Power since that first kill happened so early, but they are able to pick up that first tower, and that means when they turn in, they will get a full level basically off of this fort when they turn in. They are going to try to put as much damage on as they can, as Nexus Champ just isn't responding. They're doing Knights right now, which is great, but they're losing so much fort pressure that it's not going to matter. They are looking to turn in now, and we will see that fort get dropped if it does go that way. And oh no, Tychus!
I mean, that's a big loss here. I mean, the totem's going to go down, and they're going to be able to secure this kill on Tychus pretty handily here. And, oh my gosh, yeah, no, he's not going to get away. And again, oh my gosh, Nova will fall. Nice pickup, but at the same time, I mean, GGBB has to back out here. Dungtrain's holding 8 coins, and if he doesn't live here, I mean, he's got the guaranteed kill. They surround, nice surround, but they're going to lose their entire party as a result. I mean, that's a wipe. That's a cleanup.
That's really big. They didn't lose any coins in the process. GGBB didn't lose any coins in the process, and Falstad got at least 3 stacks off of that on its Gathering Power.
Not only that, the Gathering Power is building up. Coins just spawned. They're already holding a massive quantity of coins. There's no easy way for us to check. I mean, we can actually, no, we can check right here. My apologies. I mean, over 30 coins. I mean, that's an absolutely disgusting amount. He can turn in alone here.
Yeah.
He's just turning in alone. This is going to guaranteed give them this fort here in the middle lane. The wall and both towers are down, so that's an easy pick. And they can just choose to pressure the bottom lane if they want to. They got Knights in the bottom open for them if they want to grab them. But again, they're just collecting more coins.
They have level 10 now as well. They have a full level lead, which means if they wanted to, they could just go top, take Golem, and there's really nothing Nexus Champ could do about it. If they try to contest them, they just flip on them with full line of ults,
and it's gonna take a good while to get that 9 to 10 because they have an entire level waiting for them, you know, to collect all that XP, and they can't do that without soaking all 3 lanes. But it looks like, you know, GGBB just wants to pressure here and grab these defensive Knights, and when Nexus Champ reacts and defends the bottom lane, they'll probably see the shift up to the Golem as they continue to roam and skill every map objective. It's really just kind of a composition where they're going to say, hey, we're not actually going to initiate you if we don't have to. We're just going to get the objectives, we're going to collect coins, we're going to turn in and win from afar.
Right. I mean, the pickup of Rhaegar here for the PvE element is great because you have shield and you have heal. You're going to come out of pretty much every single camp at full health, and you're going to be able to do everything without basically sacrificing anything. So that's a great idea. I really like that they did that, and we're seeing them now just pressure down bot lane. We do see that Nexus Champ did just get their ults. They do have everything. They're ready to go, and we do see the Storm Earth and Fire picked up from Shen, so it'll be interesting to see what he does with that. And the ult comes out from King Caffeine.
Oh,
Skippy doesn't even have a chance to live. Actually gets blown up, and they just keep following through.
I mean, that's actually a really nice Void Prism, going to save 2 of their members, but the heroic going down here to secure that kill, make sure that they get the kill. They're going to grab this fort, and I would be shocked if they don't rotate up to take the golem.
They could just turn in. They're probably going to turn in first, and then they could take the golem if they want to.
Honestly, I think they have time to do both. I mean, the respawn timers are pretty short here at this point in the game, and they'll be up to react, but they have a 3-level lead. Honestly, more than 3 levels. At this rate, they'll be 4 levels up because everything is pushed back. And we see that Nexus Champ is going to defend here in the middle lane, but already we're seeing members start to float up here into the top lane.
The very interesting thing here, Dunk Train actually did not take Rewind on Nova, which is something that I haven't seen too much. It does happen. People do take the Hollow Clone instead. So he won't have an insane amount of burst, but honestly at this point he doesn't necessarily need too much. As long as they keep this lead, he'll still be doing a sizable amount of damage. It does look like they're trying to posture for this.
And they're
very
baiting.
Early Odin?
Yeah, that Odin, I mean, to have it open and ready to roll is a nice thing, but at the same time, GGBB actually just baiting, not actually grabbing the Grave Golem, just for posturing, knowing that the enemy has to defend it. And we see a lot of heroics going down here. The Judgment Invitation on the Odin, they want to clear out that Odin so they don't get the maximum damage out of it. D-Day Drazen is going to fall, and Vathan on Tychus will fall as well. And that's almost a team wipe. Chen barely gets out of here, but they're going to grab the Golem and just turn in once again.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this game is going in favor of GGBB. We need to see some massive pick happen for Nexus Champ if they want to bring this game back. And the thing about Blackhearts is if you get a pick on someone that has, say, 10 coins on Tassadar, if you get that pick, that's a massive swing that you wouldn't normally see on a lot of other maps because coins obviously don't exist on other maps. So if they can get that, that's huge. But if they're going to go for it, they need to be rushing turn-in pretty much right now. We do see that we have GGBB, still doing their PvE thing. They're collecting coins. They're extending their lead. They're basically playing StarCraft. If you're ahead, get more ahead.
It's a great philosophy, and we're seeing them go with it right now. They're not taking any risky plays. They're saying we're going to grab all the objectives so that you can't do that, and we're going to go turn in while you defend, because they don't have a choice. I mean, Nexus Champ has to stop this goal. There are Knights coming in this lane. There are Giants in the bottom lane. They have no choice but to defend, and again, it's really just kind of steamrolling, spiraling out of control in favor of GGBB.
Yeah, I mean this would be your textbook definition of snowball, and they have the camps on timers. They're ready to go. If we do see Nexus Champ, they are trying to come down here to defend this. But again, if GGBB decides to say, you know what, we're just gonna dive them here, this could be almost a carbon copy of the last game where they lose on the bottom lane. They just get rocked and just kind of walk through.
Yeah, well, we have almost all the heroics up. I mean, just Rhaegar's is down presently for Liquid Chef. But beyond that, I mean, everybody's pretty much ready for battle now. The heroic will be off cooldown in 3 seconds. And we're just going to see GGBB pressuring to take down the first. I mean, they have no reason not to pressure. You have a 4-level advantage at this point in the game. That's a talent advantage as well. I mean, 2 talent advantage.
2 talent.
Talent
They have
advantage.
2 tiers on them, and we do see that Dunk has picked the Crippling Shot. So whoever Tyrael jumps on, if Dunk can go in and put the pinning shot, they'll also take an additional 25% damage. On top of a Bloodlust.
And a Shock and Awe.
Yeah, whoever decides to get just slightly out of position, bad news happen. You can see King Caffeine. He's just sitting there. He's like, okay,
They're just waiting. Just waiting for someone to overstep. Now, they do have the Void Prism, which they can use to delay, but I mean, honestly, it's going to take a really amazing engagement to defend this properly. The Golems are doing, or the Sea Giants are doing a ton of work.
steps out, Dunk just blows them up, nothing left. That's all it takes.
There they go, the Bloodlust, the Archon, they are all in. The Shock and Awe with almost amazing value. The Disrupt there. Nice what's that called? The when you separate your 3 forms as Chen Storm Stout, used it very well to dodge the ability. And this is actually just going to be game.
Yeah,
3
that's
members
it. I
are
mean,
down.
they can't respawn in time, and that's it. We will be seeing GGBB moving on to the round of 8. Congratulations to them. Thank you, Nexus Champ, for playing.
Yeah, and I mean, awesome. Anyone that showed up for this tournament, there is no prize. It's strictly for glory, so it's great to have so many teams showing up. But that was a pretty dominant first game. Game 1 there for, or excuse me,
Game 2.
match one. Match one
Game
out
2.
of, you know, GGBB.
Yeah.
Now, GGBB is a team that we've yet to see. This is actually their first time we've actually seen this team rocking an event. Now, I'm sure they've been practicing together ever since the alpha returned. I know all these guys have been grinding games.
For sure.
But they looked phenomenal. They had incredibly good game sense. They had incredibly good decision making, and just they went into Blackhearts. This is that value that of coming into an event where you know what maps you're going to be playing on. Right. They knew they were on Blackhearts. It wasn't a random map, so they picked a composition that would lend specifically to that kind of game, and they just played the map. They just said, we're going to go around, we're going to get coins, and we're going to beat you from afar. And they didn't even. I mean, eventually they pushed. But they had such a large advantage that at that point in the game that it didn't matter. Right. They were able to push and just have that advantage. Because I would say to some extent that Nexus Champ had the better fighting composition. They had the better composition for straight up fighting slightly.
It's tough to say. I would probably disagree, honestly.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Just because of the raw burst that comes out of GGBB with Nova and Falstead. If they do, and as we saw it there, if they catch someone, it doesn't matter if your team comp is better. If you get caught and you're blown up, you're now looking at a 4v5.
Very true. That's a good point. That's a very good point.
That's all they have to do, and we saw them. They executed that pretty much flawlessly. I didn't see anything major that was oh, you shouldn't have done that. Maybe that one fight on the Nexus side where Dunk died in the little corner, but it didn't matter because they brought it back. They got the stacks on Falstead. They didn't lose any coins. They did everything fine, and they were able to just continue from there. They took their advantage, and they never stopped pressing it.
No,
not once.
They did not. And, very well played, very great decision making, and I'm excited to see them in the next round.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting.
Well, we're going to go to a quick break here. We're going to figure out the other games that have been played because round 1 has been underway. We can just look at the bracket one more quick time before we go away. Now, again, that's going to be Nexus Champ losing, so they're going to be out of the tournament. GGB will be advancing to play the winner of either Clairvoyant and XG Snakebite. Now, all these matches in round 1 are playing right now, so we should have some results when we get back. We're going to be collecting those because we're actually producing, running, and casting everything as a 2-man team right now, so it's a little bit. We're figuring it all out.
Hectic,
This is our first time doing this, so we're figuring it all out today. It's our broadcast, Kings of the Storm, Alpha in development, much like Heroes of the Storm. Now we'll be right back in just a quick moment, guys. Stay tuned, and we'll have the results of round 1, and we'll know what games we're going to be playing in round 2.
Thanks for tuning in.